Every year, the ArtVenture Pathway at McLane High School takes on a relevant social topic, using it as a platform to create content. This content includes writing, art, media, and dance. Through this process, students gain a better understanding of the issue, become advocates, learn empathy, all while strengthening their communities and learning essential skills that will help them launch a rewarding career in the arts, media, and entertainment industry. This year, ArtVenture decided to tackle the complex issue of human trafficking, which, as you'll find out, is a huge threat for young people who live in the San Joaquin Valley. What is human trafficking exactly? What forms does it take? And what does the process look like? Why is it becoming so prevalent in our society? And more importantly, are students here at McLane High School at risk of being trafficked? The United Nations defines human trafficking as the recruitment, transportation, transfer, harboring, or receipt of persons by improper means for an improper purpose, including forced labor or sexual exploitation. Domestic servitude, sex trafficking, forced and bonded labor, child labor, and even forced marriage are the primary forms that human trafficking takes. There are three major components to discuss when talking about the process of human trafficking. They are act, or having the means to recruit, transport, or harbor someone. Means, as in they must be able to keep somebody in bondage. And purpose, which in every case is exploitation. When you combine these three things together, what you have is human trafficking. 30 million women and girls around the world are currently enslaved by human traffickers. What about here in the US? As it turns out, social media plays a large role in human trafficking. And according to a recent article in the Fresno Bee, every 16-year-old girl in Fresno has been targeted by sex trade recruiters. That is a frightening statistic, to say the least. How are traffickers gaining access to the young women across the Central Valley? The answer is social media. We decided to ask some of our student body here at McLane if they've ever encountered suspicious activity online and what they did about it. After reading that article in the Fresno Bee, their answers did not surprise us.
How often are you on social media?
I'm on social media every day.
Probably like most of the day, like I say like 5 to 8 hours.
I think I'm on social media often, pretty often.
Which platform do you use the most?
I use Instagram.
Instagram.
I am on Snapchat, Instagram, and WhatsApp the most.
Have you ever seen weird messages from people that you don't know?
Yes.
All the time, like on the requests. It's weird.
I have, and it's very, very creepy.
How does social media affect the way you see yourself?
I think it all just depends on who you choose to follow. If you're following these pages that post women with unrealistic beauty standards, then I think you're gonna feel bad about yourself. But if you follow pages that are uplifting, then I think it's gonna wear off on you and you're gonna see yourself in a positive way.
Makes me feel like I'm a smaller person. Like, I don't know, I feel like I'm not important.
It makes me feel vulnerable.
Did you know, according to the Fresno Report, every 16-year-old girl in Fresno has been contacted by the human trafficker while on social media?
I didn't know that.
Does it surprise you?
Yes.
I would believe that, yeah. I would believe that, yeah. So it does not surprise you? No.
No, I did not know that.
Does this really surprise you?
Yeah, a lot.
We have to protect ourselves while we're online. That's the only way we're going to solve this issue. So, if somebody sends you a message and you don't know them, don't respond. Report the message immediately. Secondly, if somebody asks to add you as a friend on a social media platform and you don't know them, don't add them. They'll have access to your pictures, be able to gather information. You just don't want them in your life. Next, we need to start talking to each other, having real conversations with one another, and looking out for each other. If you hear somebody say something that they've been interacting with somebody online that they don't know, let them know that that's a dangerous thing, that they could be extorted, and even worse, trafficked.